Stand by to come to port. 3, 2, 1. Stand by. Wheel over. Now.
Port 10.
Port 10.
Carry up.
Midship, steer 3, 2, 1.
Stir 3, 2, 1.
Excuse me, sir. Next alteration of course. To starboard. 338 in a couple of minutes, sir.
Course 3, 2, 1, sir.
Stand by to come to starboard. 338. Stand by. Wheel over. Now.
Starboard 10.
Starboard 10. 10 of starboard.
Good. Midships,
Midships. Wheels and midships, sir.
steer 3, 3, 8.
Stir 3, 3, 8.
That's where the bird of seal went aground. Just there.
Course 3, 3, 8, sir.
Next alteration.
Port 332.
What the hell's that Sunday sailor think he's up to?
Course 3, 3, 2, sir.
Clear to turn for the berth, sir.
Revolutions 5, 8.
Revolutions 5, 8. Five, 8 revolutions past and appear, sir.
Very good.
Give the top a shout. This is Hero, over. This is Hero, loud and clear, okay, out.
Port 15.
Port
Starboard
15.
30, stop both
Starboard
engines.
30, stop both engines.
Slow astern both engines.
Slow
Three
astern,
short
both
blast.
engines. Both engines repeated, slow astern, sir. 30 of starboard on, sir.
Midships,
Midships,
stop both engines.
stop both engines. Both engines repeated, stop, sir. Wheels and midships.
I have the ship.
You have the ship, sir.
Slow ahead, both engines.
Slow ahead, both engines.
Yes? Oh, hello, Derek. Where are you going for the weekend? Home. Oh, don't look so gloomy about it.
I did see the tug, sir.
Should hope so.
And I knew what action was needed to avoid it.
Port wheel.
And an engine order you didn't give me time.
There was no time. It was a developing situation. You'd left it too late as it was.
Just missed the tug.
If you hadn't, you'd have been court-martialed. So would I. By taking over, that risk at least was cut from 2 to 1.
Showed up my ship handling in front of the whole bridge crew, didn't it?
Don't be so touchy. You looked at me when a tug appeared.
Did I? Probably to see if you're going to trust me for once.
Or to make sure I was there in case you couldn't cope. There's no insurance cover, Derek. The captain has no one to look to but himself.
Tight bodied. Hope. Andrew, I'll call you with an address. I'm not absolutely sure where I shall be. Eyes up. Hope. Can you take me to Exeter?
Cost a bit.
Well, I'm in a hurry.
Which side of Exeter?
This side, it's Poole Road. It's a travel agent.
Hello, darling. I saw you coming up the Sound. I thought you were going to hit that little tugboat.
Hardly.
Thank you, Maria.
Good.
Aha! There you are.
Hello, Dad.
How long have you got?
Only the weekend.
Oh, long enough to give me a hand.
Oh, yeah.
I'm replacing the heating system.
He's been at it for weeks. The place will be like an icebox.
Remember the old lot? Used to sound like a windy hammer whenever the boiler came on.
Doing it yourself, eh?
Of course. The only way to ensure a proper job is to do it yourself. Haven't you learned that in the Navy?
Oh, that's hardly the Navy way, is it, Dad?
Come here, darling.
Though I can think of one man who might agree with you.
Oh, why he couldn't get a firm to do it, I can't imagine. Look at this mess.
Oh, a firm would have been just as untidy, I expect.
Yes, but at least I could have complained. And I'm sure a firm would have done the job quicker. Oh, well, he keeps him occupied. I suppose that's the main thing these days. What'll you drink?
Oh, whiskey.
Oh, pour one for me too, will you? Oh, by the way, Paul Danbury's dropping in.
Oh? When?
Oh, about 5. He wanted to see you. I don't know what for.
Soda?
Yes, just a splash.
Does he know where Helen is these days?
Oh, the last I heard of Helen, she was taking one of his yachts around the Black Sea.
Oh, months ago. I had a telegram from Istanbul. That's all I ever get from Helen, telegrams. Cheers.
Cheers. Well, how's life treating you, darling? Oh, your father heard something about your captain the other day. Who was it talking to you about Derek's captain, Clive?
Oh, Johnny Collard. One of my old commanders in Singapore. Naval secretary now.
What was he saying about my master?
Oh, that he was a good bet for first shot promotion to captain. Come the time.
I wouldn't be at all surprised.
Spoke very highly of him, anyway.
As everyone does. That's one of my problems. Who notices the stars when the sun is out?
Well, he didn't handle his ship very well this morning. Your friend Collard should have been in Plymouth, Clive. The hero nearly hit a tugboat.
I can't see that young man ending his career by running down a tugboat in Plymouth Harbour.
Well, it was a very close thing. Everyone thought so. I'm sure it wouldn't have happened if Derek had been in charge.
I was until the tug appeared.
Darling, were you really?
Then Nialls took over. The first whiff of trouble, as he always does. I'll go and change. Where am I sleeping?
Your old room or the spare room? They're both made up. It doesn't matter which.
I'll take the spare room. It's less like a cabin.
You ought to have a word with Nialls.
Huh?
Well, you've still got some pull, surely.
Mrs. Crawley, Westward Travel Service here. Your North African tour tickets have arrived. Would you like me to post them on to you, or will you call in? £395, I'm afraid. Including airport tax. No, I'm afraid we can't part with the tickets, Mrs. Crawley, till we have the amount in full. Is there some problem? Oh, well, perhaps a friend could take the puppies. You call in? Yes, thank you, Mrs. Crawley. Mark.
Good afternoon, sir. Can I help you?
Paul Danbury. I am expected.
Hello, Paul. That's all right, Maria.
Sorry to rush you when you're just back, but I've got to be at a boat show tomorrow, and if you've only got till Sunday...
How's Helen?
Oh, she's helping a friend to run an agency for holiday villas on the continent, staving off the wide boys with one hand and the fraud squad with the other.
Do you have an address for her? Perhaps even a phone number?
Yes, certainly.
Go on in.
Thank you.
Oh, she hasn't answered a letter of mine for months. All I get is telegrams from different parts of Europe.
Yes, she gets about. Evening, Clive.
Oh, I didn't know you were coming in.
I won't stay long.
It's a statement, not an accusation.
Still wrestling with the heating, eh?
It's just about finished.
Is it?
Yes, all I have to do is fill up the system and keep a lookout for leaks. Drink?
Gin and tonic, if you got it.
Derek.
Right.
Well, how's the yacht chartering world?
My little corner of it is rapidly falling apart. That's why I want to talk to Derek. If anyone can help me, he can.
Nothing like it, sir. A nice long cruise. Believe me, I know.
It's not 5:30 yet.
Oh, near now.
I bet you don't say that on Hero.
I'm not in Hero now.
But I'm in my shop.
Denying you business, am I?
If only you give me some warning.
And risk letting you down at the last moment. Anything can happen in a ship.
And it's not until you've stepped on shore that you can even imagine anything happening elsewhere.
Stop lecturing me, Sarah. Now, I'll tell you what we're going to do.
Aye, aye, sir.
Lock the safe, get your handbag, and drive me to your flat. I'll give you 10 minutes to pack a bag while I get a taxi, and if we hustle, we'll just make the 7:15 to London.
No.
I've only got till Sunday. Sailing Monday morning. Let's make the most of it.
Not in London.
Why not?
Christopher!
Boarding school.
Half term. If you told me you were coming, I could have arranged for him to go to his father for the weekend. I can't fix that now.
You could try.
Oh, Mark, you're impossible.
All right, we'll take him with us. Why not? I'll take him to the Maritime Museum, if you like. Might learn something myself.
Who is managing the Med for you at the moment?
A man who knows nothing about the sea. The skippers run rings round him. Unless I can replace him by next season, I'm afraid my venture into the yacht charter business isn't going to last too long.
You could go out yourself, Paul.
Oh, I'm a boat builder. My work's at the yard at Brixham. Besides, it's someone nearer your age that's wanted.
How could Derek help you?
Well, I thought he might know of someone.
Well, he'd need to be a pretty good businessman.
No, just a good administrator. Anyone who's had experience in that field, who's also a first-rate sailor, is the man I want.
Sounds a nice job. For the right man.
That's what I think.
Yes. Well, there's nothing to be gained by putting off the moment of truth. I'll go and fill the tank.
No, can I help?
What, to turn on a tap? Just keep a sharp lookout for leaks from the ceiling. Not that I expect that to happen until I put the boiler on.
How's your glass?
I make no apology for bringing it up in front of your father.
You're softening him up.
Well, the Navy's a Beaumont tradition. Your father, your grandfather.
Admiral Sir Henry, KBE, DSO.
Well, I recognize it as a factor, at least.
You don't need me, Paul.
I'll consider other candidates, only if you say no.
Well, naturally, I've thought about it. Sometimes I've thought of little else. Run my own show. Sailing, Greek islands, good money. Very tempting.
Make a go of it, and one day the boat business will be yours as well. I don't have anyone else to take it over.
You have Helen. Come to think of it, why don't you offer her the charter business? She's a good sailor, and if anyone could handle your Greek and Italian skipper, she could.
How long would it take you to resign your commission?
Paul, it's out of the question.
How long?
9 months at least.
Well, I'd need you by next June. It's September now.
Yes, but that means I'd have to make a decision almost immediately.
That's right. Well, I must be going. What are you doing tonight, by the way?
Oh, watching television with Mother, I expect. Why?
What's the name of that pub you used to go to with Helen? The Duke of something or other.
Duke of Cambridge.
Yes, that's right. Helen says she'll meet you there at 9:30, but I'd make it nearer 10 if I were you. She's not too hot on punctuality.
Is she staying with you?
Drove down from London this afternoon. I told her you'd be home for the weekend.
You swine.
Well, if I told you before, you wouldn't have paid a blind bit of notice to what I wanted to talk about.
Oh, it's a ruthless tycoon, is it?
Good luck.
Train spotting? But Peter doesn't like that. Yes, I know you do, Christopher, but you are his guest. Anyway, what time will you be home? Whenever you like. Oh, that'll be nice. But why not let Peter choose what you're going to see? Stay the night. Well, you ask Mrs. Cummings to ring me up when you get back from the cinema. Yes, about 10:30. Okay, darling. Bye. He may be staying the night.
Yes, I heard.
His friend's mother's going to ring, but I'm not going to try and persuade her.
They're going to a cinema.
If only you'd given me some warning.
Well, never mind. There's plenty of time before 10:30.
What's it to be, sir?
Hello.
Darling.
Gosh, I'm hungry. Can we eat here?
Snuggery snacks or the Duke's menu?
Menu.
I'll find it.
How's the Navy? They made you a captain yet?
Hey.
Look, Derek, he could come back any minute.
Does it matter?
Is this really the old Duke? It's not as I remember it.
Darling, can
I really came down to try and trace a man in painting who let us advertise a villa in Portugal. It didn't belong to him. We moved in a family of 5, and on their first night, the local police chief turned up. And he threw them all in jail. It seems it was his house.
Hey, relax.
I'm shy, that's all.
You shy?
It's been a long time.
I wouldn't have thought he need go out his first night.
What? Well, I don't know. Helen down here, you can hardly blame him. After all, she's not often even in the country when he is.
Oh, nothing will come of that. They've known each other far too long.
If Derek were to leave the service,
What did you say?
Helen might marry him then.
Derek wouldn't give up the Navy.
Don't you ever wish I had?
Clive.
I'll go and start the boiler.
What's your frozen food like?
Hard to say. No one's had any yet.
Ooh. I'll have the scampi.
No, I've eaten, thanks.
Oh, and plenty of tartar sauce.
Right.
Can we have a proper evening together tomorrow? I had to dine at home tonight.
How did you get on with Dad? Going to take that job?
I'm tempted.
Dad thinks the world of you.
I'm glad someone does.
Oh, say yes, Derek. It'd be marvelous. Take it.
Would you marry me if I did?
Ooh. Oh, could I have a beer, please? I don't know where they get this filthy wine from.
I want to know this time, Helen.
No.
Well, that's straight up anyway. Can I have half a bitters?
Would I be messing you about too much to change my mind about the scampi?
Rather have the steak.
Not really hungry. I had something before I came out. I'd forgotten.
I'll put it back in the freezer. Guess it wouldn't really happen.
What will you say to Dad now?
Oh, what you said. No.
God, I wish you'd grow up.
No, I'm not packing in the Navy after 16 years to do something as chancy as the yacht chartering business if I can't even have you out there with me.
To hold your hand if the water's cold. Look, I'll not come to you as a consolation prize.
I want to marry you anyway. I always have.
Not always.
Yes.
Look, you first proposed to me after you left Dartmouth when you began to realize that the old Etonian tie wasn't going to keep you warm in the Navy. There were too many Mark Nialls about. I'm just a form of insurance to you, aren't I? Oh, don't look so hurt, please.
Just because there are some times when I need you more than others, it doesn't mean to say that I only need you then.
Derek, I do love you.
You don't even write to me.
I try to forget you. I can't.
Marry me.
No.
If you love me.
Ask me again when you're playing Mr. Beaumont.
Is that a promise?
Of course not. It's late, I must go.
Oh, not yet. It's only 10 o'clock.
Your mother will be wanting you too, I expect. First night back on leave.
What is eating you now?
Look, I might agree to marry you when you've resigned your commission, or I might not. I might equally agree when you get your first command.
You saying that I don't
your
mind
career shouldn't depend on what I say. Look, Derek, I'd give anything to be your number one, but I'll be damned if I'll be your Mark Nialls.
Do you think your son will stay the night?
Please don't make me persuade him to.
Well, it's gone 10. I better see what I can do about getting a hotel.
We can give it half an hour. I know somewhere nearby you can stay if you have to.
I'd never make a firm arrangement to see you, Sarah, and risk letting you down at the last minute because of...
The exigencies of the service?
I'm no part-time naval officer, and I've too much respect for you to think you want me to be.
Oh, I know. Straight along the line, isn't it? Full steam ahead. If you're forced to stop, then by all means look at the view. But don't go out of your way to look at it.
It's this way or nothing.
For you, perhaps. But I'm a divorced woman of 30 with a 10-year-old son.
Just so long as you understand, however unconvincing it may sound, that I love you, Sarah. Do you believe that?
Yes.
I love you.
So does someone else.
Oh, you're back earlier than I expected.
Yes, me too.
Your mother's in bed watching television. Will you go up to her?
Radiator's warm.
Yes. I put the boiler on an hour ago.
No trouble.
I did 75 soldered joints and not one of them leaks. It isn't until the heat comes on and they start to expand that you know whether you've done a good job or not.
And I'd have been surprised if you hadn't, Dad.
You know, I like the feel of a blow lamp.
How well do you know Admiral Collard?
He's under my command. Why?
You must know him quite well if he lets you in on promotion board secrets about Nialls.
Oh, he was talking quite generally. Nialls has a pretty notable reputation everywhere.
Did you talk to him about me at all?
He asked after you, knew you were in Hero.
But he didn't say what my prospects were.
Well, I wasn't so lacking in good form as to ask him.
He must know.
What, precisely?
How soon I'm likely to get a command, for one thing?
So we went out to dinner, and afterwards he came back here.
When Christopher was at boarding school.
He wants to marry me.
Do you love him?
No.
End of story.
I do not intend to spend the rest of my life sitting in that dreary office sending Mrs. Crawley on package tours and living in the hope that every now and then, if you happen to be passing, you just might drop in. Oh, God knows why I was so astonished today when you showed up. I daydream enough about it happening. David's a nice guy. Oh, Mark, love is not enough. It doesn't buy anything.
And if Niles sees me only as a tolerable second in command and never as a captain, as I suspect he does, then it's only sensible that I cut my losses now.
And steer rich playboys in yachting caps around the Greek islands.
That's better than being a passed-over lieutenant commander. I was just hoping you might be prepared to make a few inquiries about me, that's all. On a phone call to Collard, your son's a bit concerned about his future. I'm not asking for a look at the file, just some assurance that it is worth going on.
And have your capacity for leadership queried from that moment on? A man so unsure of himself that he has to ask his own father...
Then pretend it's because you want to know. I will not end up in the Navy saying, aye, Captain, to Bob Last. He's our navigator. He's another Niles.
You had everything. A fine education, Eton, Dartmouth, and all the built-in advantages of coming from a family with a long and distinguished naval record.
Do you think that helped? Admiral Beaumont, son, eh? Oh, we expect great things of you, my boy, great things. Advantages? Not anymore. You have to be something really exceptional these days to live down Eton and an admiral for a father.
Then be exceptional. Prove that you can do without Niles or me. If you find you can't, at least you've tried. You've served. In the end, a man has to settle for what he can do, not aspire to what he can't.
I'm not prepared to settle. If I haven't got what it takes for the Navy, I'll do something else. But I must know.
You do know inside? If you don't, nobody can tell you. You're on your own. Blast! Here, put something under it, for heaven's sake.
Right. What's our ETA, Jamaica?
1800 local time Saturday, sir. Briefing's on Sunday. We sail AO 800 on Monday for the first phase of the exercise.
Refueling at sea?
Midday Wednesday, sir.
Good.
Anything else, sir?
No, that's all, Bob. Thank you. Oh, Derek, have a good weekend?
Yes, thank you, sir.
What's on your mind? It's cold in here, isn't it?
Cold?
You said you wanted to see me.
Yes, I was offered a job at the weekend, sir. A damn good one.
Oh?
Yes, Helen's father, Paul Danbury, wants me to manage his charter operation in the Med.
Sounds interesting.
Is that all you want to say?
Well, Derek, it's your life, not mine. God, I feel lousy. I'm going to have a drink.
Sir, if I stay in the service, where do you think I would be in, say, 5 years' time?
Depends on you.
It also depends on you, doesn't it, sir? When the question of my first command comes up, your reports on me are going to count a great deal.
You'd like to know what I say about you?
Well, you can see how it could affect my decision now.
Oh, God, I think I'm going to be sick.
Gastric flu? Since when?
This morning.
Probably a hangover from the weekend. I hope he keeps to his cabin. I wish to move that for the duration of the emergency...
Emergency?
Emergency. The first lieutenant shall have meals only with the captain.
Here, here, let's paint a black cross on the door.
Actually, it's not that funny.
No, I should think not. When I was in the Hector, the whole ship's company went down with it. Vomiting, squittering bodies all over the ship.
You have to.
I wasn't thinking of an epidemic.
Well, you should be.
A day after tomorrow, we have to refuel at sea.
Well, the captain will be all right for that. He can handle a razz.
Of course.
There was nothing serious, sir. It's just some sort of bug you've picked up. You just have to sweat it out, that's all.
Hello, Derek. Sorry about this.
How are you feeling?
Oh, not so bad. I'll be okay tomorrow.
I wouldn't count on that, sir.
Look, if you think I'm going to lie here any longer than I've got to...
It's the best place for you.
Get out, Milner.
He's got a temperature of 102, sir.
A leading medical assistant is not necessarily a specialist in fever stuff.
I can read a thermometer.
Maybe,
sir.
but I'll decide when I'm fit enough to get up, not you.
Yes, sir. Just so he stays in bed, won't you, sir?
Oh. I wonder where I could have picked this up from. I hope Sarah hasn't got it.
So we have to think about the razz.
Well, you can do it yourself.
Well, we could postpone it a couple of days. Come in.
Weather report's urgent. I'm sorry to trouble you, sir, but there's a hurricane on the way.
Hurricane?
Oh, that's all we need.
It's coming up from the south, heading northwest, mean advance 25 knots.
Hell's bells.
Well, if we keep up our speed, we could run before it.
We've got to be fully fueled for high speed. Can't put off the razz now.
Well, where are we going to?
Captain's not too well, Bob.
Oh, yes. Touch of the flu, I hear, sir.
I'll be all right tomorrow.
Well, I hope so.
Well, if not, the first lieutenant will do the refueling.
Oh?
Won't you, number one?
Lucky old you, sir. Bob Lars would take a ship up Niagara Falls if you asked him to.
And find it exciting.
No imagination.
Oh, maybe that's what's wanted tomorrow.
You'll manage all right.
One mistake, Bill. At best, you fill the sea with oil. At worst, you hold the tanker.
At worst, you could lose a couple of men, but you won't.
Board of inquiry, if the hose comes apart. Court-martial if there's a collision.
Well, if you're getting out anyway.
Oh, I don't intend to go that way.
Then why not let Bob do it?
I am tempted. What do you think?
I think you'd be running away if you let him.
But it is sensible in a way, isn't it? And the captain would prefer it.
Well, the captain wants the job done, that's all.
No. It's a matter of trust.
It's a matter of confidence. And Bob's got it.
And I haven't.
Obviously not.
If I stay in the service, get a command, I'll have to do it.
Well, maybe that's your trouble.
What?
Maybe you're getting out not because you mightn't get a command, but because you might.
You think I'm not up to it?
I think you think you're not up to it, and you're getting out before you put to the test.
That's ridiculous.
Well, that's my opinion. As a friend.
Some friend.
Then why are you getting out, Derek?
I haven't decided to go yet.
Oh, good morning, sir. How do you feel this morning?
Oh, just a bit groggy, that's all.
There's no need to go up yet, sir. I mean, the tanker's not due till noon.
No, I think I should find out before then, if at least I could see straight on the bridge.
I'll do the refueling, sir. There's no need to worry.
Tanker on schedule?
Oh, yes, sir. We've been in touch since 0800. Rendezvous 1200 as planned.
Special sea gentleman closed up?
It's a bit early for that, sir.
What's the time?
10:30.
Oh.
You'd be better off in your cabin, sir. You've got an hour at least.
Yes, well, maybe.
He's in no state to do the refueling.
I've offered to do it for him, haven't I?
With a temperature of 102, he might not altogether be rational.
Bill, he is still the captain.
But he's a lot sicker than we thought.
Well, what do you want me to do? Lock him in his cabin?
Well, you're the first lieutenant.
See that I'm called in an hour, Milner.
Yes, sir.
Just make sure I am.
Special sea gentlemen to your stations. Assume NBCD State 3 condition Yankee. Prepare for beam fueling.
Watch where that hole's covered in the middle.
Captain, Sir First Lieutenant. Visual on the tanker. Special Sea Duty men closing up.
Should have called me 10 minutes ago. The ship pilot.
You have the ship, sir. Course 148, revolutions 8 to 4.
Steer 126.
Steer 126.
Correction, 146.
Steer 146.
Revolutions
80.
Revolutions 80. 80 revolutions set and repeat, sir.
Stern of the tanker bears 146, sir. Stern of the tanker steady at 146.
I heard you, Port 15.
Port 15. 15 at Port Wheel answer.
Hello, Papa. We'll go round again till the tanker.
Aye, aye, sir.
To the Gold Rover, we'll go round again.
Echo Tango, this is Papa Bravo. We will go round again. Over.
Well, that's the first time he's messed up an approach.
Yeah, well, he's sick, isn't he?
Course 147, sir.
Very good.
Shall I carry on, sir?
No, I'll take her.
Sir.
I have the ship.
You have the ship, sir. Course 147, 82 revolution.
Set repeated.
Port 10, steer 144.
Port 10, steer 144.
Revolutions 8-2.
82 revolutions are set, sir.
Revolutions 8-0.
Revolutions 80. 80 revolutions passed and repeat, sir.
Shall I take the ship, sir?
No.
How far away is the tanker, sir?
I haven't got time to play games. Get back on the forecastle.
Give me an answer, sir.
I gave you an order, number one.
How far away
For
is
the
it?
last
How
ti-
far?
2 cables.
Barely 1 cable. Sir. 200 yards. Port 20.
Port 20.
Going round again.
Roger, sir.
I have the ship, sir.
You have the ship.
24 will answer.
Get him below, 7th the LMA. Evolution's 9-0.
Revolution's 9-0.
Revolution's 9-0. 9-0, revolution set, and a sir.
Very good.
Number 1 has the con.
Yes, sir.
He's not given it to Lieutenant Last.
I shouldn't think so, sir. No.
Good. Good.
Making the final approach now.
Roger, sir.
Steer 145.
Steer 145.
Nothing to starboard.
Nothing to starboard, sir.
Couldn't have done it better myself.
Steer 144.
Steer 144.
Port 10.
Port 10. Port wheel on 10.
Fueling completed.
Yes, sir. We've started to outrun the hurricane now.
Good.
I just sent a telegram to Danbury. I turned down his offer.
And what's Helen going to say to that?
Who knows?
Can't be that awful having a husband in the Navy.
Sarah seems to think so.
Sarah would marry me tomorrow.
So, what's stopping you?
I don't know. Maybe next commission.
Or never?
Maybe.
Isn't she quite suitable?
What?
As a senior officer's wife, the future Lady Nialls.
You think that would make any difference?
Wouldn't it?
Thank you for doing the fueling.